friends, a big, warm welcome to you this evening, or if you're watching at another time, welcome to you when you're watching. We'll start in about, let's see, it's just 6:30 right now, so we'll start in about 3 minutes. I like to start with a few minutes of silent meditation for folks who are just kind of careening in from their workday, so we don't have to start right on the dot. So 3 minutes or so of eyes closed or open, whatever you wish, silent meditation. Just use this opportunity, if you're already on, to kind of officially welcome yourself to practice, shake off the day, get settled, get some tea, or sit with me, and I'll come get you guys in just a couple minutes. All right, friends, officially, welcome to Mindful Monday. I'll keep this class from here forward to 30 minutes on the dot. I know it's helpful to plan your evening and kind of know what you're getting yourself into. So Central Time will go 6 to 6:30, and as always, the recording will be available. I'd like to talk tonight about a concept in mindfulness practice called the trance. The trance. And I think it's really important to share and to always remember that the human brain is not designed to be present all the time. In fact, it's an energy-saving mechanism that we have something called rumination or mind wandering. If we were present and focused all the time, we would be exhausted. Our mind, our brain would be so tired that I don't know how long we would last. And so I think it's really important to know that by design, we go through part of our day kind of daydreaming, mind wandering, sort of floating along. We distract ourselves with things. Fine, totally fine. And we practice presence because what's happening, the data is showing that with this faster, quicker, modern age, we are present a little bit less as a human species than perhaps we used to be, and distracted a little bit more. The mind is trying to filter through all that life really brings our way. And so our goal is not to be this stoic present being all of the time, but the goal really is to really practice this kind-hearted, spacious, loving, open awareness when possible. And open awareness doesn't necessarily mean focusing, right? Open awareness you can think of as opening to the moment, different than really holding your fine-tuned attention. It's sort of opening to what is happening right here and right now. And so this idea of the trance is a common thread in mindfulness practice. What I'm sharing from tonight is Radical Compassion by Tara Brach. It's a wonderful book on insight meditation if you are wanting something to kind of self-study along with. So if the state of mindfulness is this compassionate, open, loving awareness, the opposite of that would be when we are in what's called a trance. And we'll dive into this part more deeply another time, but Tara even calls it the trance of unworthiness that is like rampant for humans today. You guys might have seen my logo for my yoga membership for this site. It's at the beginning of some of the videos. I'm going to show it to you. Does that look familiar, that circle with the line in it? So that's actually a symbol that Joseph Campbell created, and he says that below the line, and you can see there's more space below the line. Below the line is the trance. Above the line is us living in this open-hearted state of awareness. And so we're living in the trance more of the time, and the idea is that the more we practice mindfulness, that line starts to lower, so this more present state becomes more common more of the time. So presence is often described, not just with this tradition, but with many spiritual traditions, as an open, unlit sky. You've probably heard that somewhere, that a spacious mind, the state of presence and awareness, is like the sky. And when presence is full, like the sky, it's luminous and boundless. And it provides warmth, and our presence provides nourishment. All kinds of weather systems pass through: happiness, sorrow, fear, grief, excitement, pain. But like the sky, presence can hold it all. Presence can hold all of that emotion. And we have all, if you are watching this tonight or later, you have been touched by presence many times in your life, probably every day. The moments before we sleep, when we're still and relaxed, listening to the rain on the roof, which we have in our city tonight. Looking at a star-filled sky, that sense of wonder and awe, right? Always remembering to look up and remember that there's so much that's bigger than our daily existence. We open to presence in gratitude, right? Maybe somebody paid you a really kind compliment or did something for you that you weren't expecting. That moment of, oh my gosh, right? That's a moment of presence. We may never feel the presence we feel as a witness of a birth or a death. Very present during birth and death. In contrast, a trance is what encloses us in a virtual reality. So you can think of a trance as when you're stuck in emotion or you're rehashing something that happened. A trance is when we're taking something that happened very personal, when usually on the other side of it we know nothing is really personal. The trance is the unconscious beliefs and feelings that we kind of came out of the womb with, depending on who our ancestors are, but also through our experiences. So the trance is really the past informing the present, you could say. When we're in the trance, we usually feel separate We feel alone. We feel unworthy, as Tara says. And so the whole idea, tonight on these Monday nights, we sit formally. We sit together for 15 or so minutes of meditation. And then over time, I want you guys to start taking this off the cushion into your daily life. So we have formal practice tonight and then informal, which is how we start to see this transpire moment to moment in daily life. And so your homework for this next week, I want you to start to just notice. You don't even have to do anything about it, because shining the light is more than half the battle. But noticing when you are stuck in a trance, right? Noticing when you're stuck in a trance. And I'm going to read you a few flags of trance. 1, I've just gone through a whole bag of trail mix. For me, it's like Girl Scout cookies or something. 2, even the small stuff feels like just too much. Overwhelm, right? Overwhelm is a trance. A third one, of course, that we all know is that you've been driving for a while and you don't remember driving for the last 2 minutes, or you're driving and you miss your exit, right? Even though you know where you're going, you're just elsewhere in your head. We all know the trance of social media, looking at our phone and realizing 30 minutes have gone by and where were we? What just happened, right? Another trance is walking through a store and suddenly realizing you're comparing your body with every other woman or man, if you're a man, who you see. So comparison is a trance. Another one is I'm listening to someone and planning how I'm going to get outside for a cigarette. Or listening to someone and already planning what you're going to say next. That's a really sneaky one that I find myself doing often, and I catch myself because I've been practicing this a long time. But I'll catch myself planning and thinking ahead, and I'll just gently pause, bring it back around, feel my feet on the ground, feel my seat in the chair, and just stop and give that person my full attention. Okay, one more. Let's see. You notice an inner voice, perhaps your mother's or somebody else from your past, saying, "Can't you do anything right?" So what you start to see is these trance-like states are anywhere but here. It's the past informing the present, or it's some kind of planning or anxious state about the future. So that's your homework for this week, and then now we'll practice our formal sit. And we'll get to kind of see where we go tonight and what's showing up in our body tonight. I feel like I have to mention this. There's a pretty raging storm outside, so if we happen to lose connection, that's why. And I'll see you next week, but I think we're going to be fine. So if you're not already, please do make sure you're always seated on a cushion or a block or a chair. And in your body, try to find a sitting position that allows you to be upright and alert, but also fairly relaxed and at ease. I invite you to close your eyes tonight or keep them open and just establish a simple sense of presence to begin. And begin to allow your awareness to scan through your body. And wherever possible, soften and release any pockets of tension or unconscious holding. You might take a few very full breaths. Somehow that feels so good at the end of a long day. And then allow your breath to be neutral. So you're not trying to change it or deepen it. You're just really allowing it to be without messing with it at all. That doesn't mean you can't receive a spontaneous deep breath here and there. Feel free, of course. However, overall, we're just witnessing this process of inhale and exhale in its natural state. And bring your attention to where you most easily detect the breath, or perhaps where it's the most comfortable, perhaps where it feels the most lively. And wherever that spot is, this place of experiencing the breath becomes home base. This home base is our anchor to the present moment. A mantra you may wish to use to guide you back over and over is this breath right here. This breath right here. And of course, if the breath is not the best anchor for you, instead, home base becomes your hands or the sensations of your seat on the cushion or sound. And now with a relaxed and interested attention meaning not boredom, but ease and quiet, moment to moment, discovering what the sensations of breath or your chosen anchor feel like, moment to moment. checking in by asking yourself this question. Right now, what is my experience of presence? Repeating that to yourself and just seeing what the answer is. Or perhaps a better way to ask it for you is there anything between me and presence? So what is my experience of presence right now? Or is there anything between me and presence? And each time you notice that your mind has wandered is a moment of freedom. It's a moment of knowing that you're in the trance, of interrupting that momentum that trance-like state can bring. It can be so strong. It can take us far, far away. I know you know. And so each time you gently bring your attention back to the inflow and outflow of breath and where you feel it, or your other chosen anchor. Just offer this return a relaxed and wakeful presence. Is there anything between me and presence right now? Sometimes it's just the simple act of the mind wandering, in which case, just keep turning toward your anchor. And sometimes there's something real there, something that is causing a lot of angst or worry. And in that case, I invite you to let that thing bubble to the surface of your attention. And a few questions that help me, that I ask myself are, is my past informing this current tension? Usually, yes. Or is the trepidation of the future informing this current tension? Fear of the unknown? Yes. Usually, yes. And just recognizing that it's past informing or future informing allows that thing to just live here in the present with a little less charge, with a little less friction. because we truly don't know. And there can be a lot of comfort in that place. It's this ebb and flow of sensing breath or your anchor in the foreground, and then thought becoming louder, interrupting that momentum, and then anchor becoming more established over and over, the ebb and the flow. Now begin to open to sound. Some of you might have already been using sound as your anchor tonight. Everybody begin to open to sound in your environment. What do you hear, both near and far? And then as you slowly begin to open your eyes, just take a look around the room that you're in and notice your surroundings, perhaps naming objects. It just helps us kind of orient to where we are in time and space. And briefly, just revisiting your focus for this week, which is to start to notice when you're in that trance-like state. You can think of that moment of noticing as a clearing, as a little moment of freedom, these little brief moments of freedom throughout the day. And it's really in this clearing that mindfulness creates for us that gives us our life back. I think so often about the time I spend in trance, a lot of it to do with technology, some of it to do with exhaustion, right? Which could be just the season that I'm in. And to close, what's so important as you witness yourself this week is that you layer so much loving kindness into this. It's one of the two wings of mindfulness practice, loving kindness, because this awakening can be painful when we start to notice, but it's not one more reason to beat ourselves up. Let this awakening be the sweetest clearing that gives you your life back, little bit by little bit. It was really nice to sit with you guys tonight. Thank you. And you can always reach out with questions. You never have to, but you always can. It's up to you. Let me know how this landed for you tonight, and I'll see you next week. I send you all the love.